Hello, BookTube. What's happening? Drinking the good stuff. Trust me, if it was in the budget, there'd be a lot more of this Guinness in this house. Cheers, my friends. I'm here to do the Mass Effect book tag. I was tagged by Jena over at Bibliofilth. Thank you, Jena. I'm constantly pronouncing her name wrong, and my apologies for that. But sometimes with everything going on, it's kind of hard to keep up with everyone's name and certain, things. But here we go. Question number 1. Now, here's the thing about Mass Effect. Played the game, love it. Gina's a big fan of it. You know, it's actually one of my favorite video games. It's not the favorite, but it's definitely in my top 5. So here's question 1. If you're not familiar with the game Mass Effect, you may not get some of these character references. So there's a place called Wikipedia for that. 1. Commander Shepard. Paragon. I am reading these off of this list taped to my camera tripod. The main character that puts the needs of everyone else before their own. Born from Midworld, and believe it or not, I don't see that. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Pardon me. I gotta get Midworld in there. And one of these days, Alan Dean Foster should write me a letter thanking me. Part 2 of that question. Renegade, a main character that chooses to do bad things for the greater good. That would be Johnny Smith from The Dead Zone by Stephen King. I don't have that book because at some point in my life I loaned it out to some douchebag that apparently didn't bring it back. But a main character that chooses to do bad things for the greater good is Johnny Smith from The Dead Zone. Oh man, that's good. Eden Prime, number 2. The book / book series that got you into reading. Finally got a copy of this. And I was in the 1st grade, and this was the 3rd book, and me and 3 other people were reading this, and everyone else was reading the 2 little paperbacks, little thin books. And this was the first book that I read that made me actually feel like I was on my way, and it's On Cherry Street. And here, me and these 2 other people were reading this, and I was like, ooh, I'm in the big book and they're still in the little one, so that's kind of where it took off. And been an avid reader ever since. I mean, look at this. This thing was published in the 50s, and they had various editions. I was in the 1st grade in the years 1969, 70. So this was the book. 3. Now, it's been a while since I played this game, so if I do some mispronunciations on some of these characters, that's on me. Viara Tassoni, a book that taught you something new. The Jungle, this title's a bit marred, by Upton Sinclair. And taught me about how filthy the slaughterhouses were in Chicago back in the day. Took place around the turn of the century. 4. Garrus Vakarian. Now this is the sniper, and he was one of my favorite characters. He was just cool. A character that brought joy / life to an otherwise sad / too serious book. That would be Uncle Al from Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. This was a good one. The only mistake in this one, well, he messed with the cycle of the moon, but there was a .45 Magnum present in this, and that weapon or weapon that fires a caliber bullet doesn't exist. I was like, dude, do a little research. I know you're a great writer, but come the freak on. But still very entertaining. Five, Veermar, Katie and Alenko. A book that was boring in the beginning but ended up becoming good. Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, sorry. Starts out slow, but it's just a fantastic book. The only Pulitzer Prize winning book that I've ever read, and I would recommend you try it out. Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. The other part of that question, which is number 5, Ashley Williams. A book series that no matter how many times you've tried, you just can't get into it. Harry Potter. And I actually saw a comment a while ago about my last video, and Harry Potter came up, and Mark Nash is like, he's like, it's a generational thing. People that grew up with it are cool with it. Apparently some older folks, and well, I think there's probably some older people that got into it, but it's just not my thing. I've heard great things about it. My in-laws went and seen every friggin' Harry Potter movie that came out, you know, but it's just, it's not for me. So. 6, Joker. A book that made you laugh. Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. And it was actually on Jena's channel, Bibliofilth, that I first became familiar with this book, and then I know Dane over at Dane Reads, and my partner in crime for the indie read-along, Dane Cobain, he's a big Terry Pratchett fan, and I plan on reading some more Terry Pratchett. 7, Telazora Vaz Normandy. A character that grew throughout the book and ended up becoming an amazing character. Oddly enough, Carrie, from Stephen King's first published novel, Carrie. Because she starts out as this shy introvert, and then she becomes prom queen, and then she promptly, through telekinesis, really gives it back to a bunch of people who, some had it coming, others were just innocent bystanders. So she came a long way. Boy, that's good brew. Now let me take this off of here, my high-tech. Oh yeah. 8, Morden Solus and Thane Krios, a character that had a tragic death that you wish you could bring back to life. That'd be Tad from Cujo, again, another Stephen King novel. Tadder is a little kid. When they were trapped in the car by the possessed slash I think rabies, hydrophobia is another word for it. There wasn't a lot of clarity on whether this dog was rabid. I think that was supposed to be the case, or if it was just possessed. But yeah, Tatter, because it's a kid. 9, Reapers, a villain you love. Pennywise from It. I mean, wouldn't say I love him, but I mean, come on, it's just a very interesting, engaging. Although Pennywise is just one facet of the It entity, he was, a bad dude, but in a entertaining way. Probably the best way to put that. 10. The ending. Okay, here are options. Number 1, destroy. A book series you wish you could make disappear. Alright, now, I'm not into destroying literature. It would be tempting, but I wouldn't even, trash Twilight. I mean, I've trashed it plenty enough on this channel. I wouldn't do away with it because, it's just part of the literary spectrum, and you have to have both sides. You have to have a measuring stick / point of reference as to what's good and what's bad. And I didn't appreciate the vampire legend being wrecked, but hey, if you can make a little cash off of something like that, more power to you. But I still freaking dislike that. 2, control. An author you wish you could control in order to change something about their books. On that one, I don't really have a clue because, everybody needs to do their own thing as far as writing goes. Now, again, I'm not proselytizing the use of alcohol or drugs. But I think Stephen King should get him some brewskis, get him a bag of weed, whatever the hell else he was doing back then, and just do one more book under the influence. And I might buy it. But, he's wrote some good ones, but I'm telling you, when he sobered up, man, he wasn't the same dude. It's my opinion. Synthesize. 2 authors you wish could co-write a book. Either Harlan Ellison and Stephen King. Now, here's the thing. If you go read Harlan Ellison, you will realize, or at least this is my theory, that he was a big influence on Stephen King. Especially in interviews and the way that they talked about their work and stuff. I mean, I'm telling you. And the other choice would be Harlan Ellison and Ellen Dean Foster. Freaking A. That's the tag. Thank you for listening to me, ramble on, do what I do here, back here in the junk room. But I appreciate you participating in this endeavor. Cheers, my friends. Drink one for me. Thank you, Jena, for the tag, and everybody else. As always, catch you later. Bye.